on family and friends with us here this morning, and we're excited to hear your story.
I grew up in a broken home filled with addiction. Love was present, but my parents' trauma prevented them from giving me the best versions of themselves. I was angry at their addictions, that their addictions seemed more important than me. I began drinking at 8, experimenting with marijuana at 12, and eventually turning to worse drugs. At times, I thought I might be better off not breathing. I carried this trauma into my marriage and parenthood. Months after my first son's birth, the loss of my father broke me. Before our second son was born, my wife's mother passed due to COVID. Our marriage soon crumbled, and she filed for divorce. During all the court battles and resentment, our boys were hurt most of all. I wasn't allowed to see my children until one day my wife called me to meet. We decided to try again. And that's when she brought me to the Father's house. We started attending regularly, went through essentials, joined a small group. Making church a priority led us to a stronger relationship with God. One day, while crying out to God, His presence knocked me to my knees. From that moment, I threw away all substances, gave up weed and alcohol, and been clean for 6 months. With God at the center of my life, I am clean, free of anger, and completely delivered from depression. Jesus has made me a better father, husband, and man. Today, I'm following Jesus into the waters of baptism and declare Him Lord of my life.
Well, Andy, based on your confession of faith, we now baptize you in the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. So we have Elizabeth here this morning, and we're excited to celebrate what God is doing in her life. Let's hear her story.
As a young girl, I knew of Jesus, but never developed a personal relationship with Him. I was raised by a loving mother and an alcoholic father, witnessing the emotional abuse and chaos that came with addiction. As a teen, I became codependent, anxious, angry, and depressed. At 19, I met my husband, but I carried all these unhealthy habits into our relationship. After 6 years, my ego, my resentment, my unforgiveness for my father, my lack of accountability drove me to separate from my husband. While on my own, I lost my job, my mother died, and I filed for bankruptcy. And all the plans that I had made for my life shattered. In desperation, I contacted the Father's house for help with gas money. They helped me and prevented us from losing our home. I felt an immense gratitude and decided to come to service. While walking in with my 2 boys, I felt welcomed. In the auditorium, I broke down in tears, and strangers asked to pray for me. And I felt overwhelmed as the Holy Spirit filled my heart. With Jesus, I no longer feel depressed, and I have surrendered my deep-rooted anger. My husband and I reconciled and are still married today. I'm part of a small group of God-fearing women. I meet with Jesus in my secret place and continue growing in prayer and try to live out the word every day. I give glory to Jesus for saving my life, my marriage, and my family. And today I am following Jesus into the waters of baptism and declare him Lord of my life.
So Elizabeth, we're so excited about what God's doing in your lives. And so today, based on your confession, we now baptize you in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit.